Shalom, shalom again. I thought I had it finished, but I forgot, family. I forgot to mention as far as the destruction of the continual. To fill you in, the Shabbat is a seventh-day Shabbat. And it's not continual if it's a broken cycle. A continual offering, just like the daily offerings, even though it's a picture of how the Sabbath works. To give you an understanding, the bread of the presence that anoints or makes bread or nourishment out of the month's cycles has to be refreshed on a non-lunar seventh-day Sabbath. You know, the bread's exchanged out, baked new, and replaced on a seventh-day non-lunar Sabbath. Then the 12 loaves are the tree of life, the tree of life that bears its fruit every month, and the leaves are the healing and the medicine for the nations. And we get it now as the first fruits, you see. So I forgot to go into Daniel. I wanted to make this part 9. Forgive me about this. I just wanted to plant some seeds as far as the symbolism. We're going to sort out Daniel chapter 8 if you turn with me. I'm going to try to do this real quick. I'm just going to hit it real lightly because the Greek garbage messed everything up. Christianity's trapped in Greekism, okay? If you want to, not the Greek language, but this culture of that part of Europe. It's been a plague to everything that is Yahuwah. You follow me? Knows that Hebrew culture was absolutely destroyed by Alexander the Great. Even though he was anointed by Yahuwah to do it, he's still the type of what that set in motion. Because remember how all of the beast powers of all the reigning kingdoms from Babylon and Nebuchadnezzar, every stronghold of sin goes to that conglomerate beast at the end. They all connect together. All their sin strongholds, all their power, all their tricks, all their cunning are in that amalgamated beast at the end, the fourth beast. But this is talking just about the goat and the ram. The ram was a type of the atonement, and that is the type where Yahushua's bloodline came from. The Medo-Persia or Mesopotamia is where our Anglo lineage came from, with the line of Abraham. You know, the Laban, the white line of Shem came in through that. They settled in that area. And that's where Abraham went out from, all the Abrahamic line, okay? So that is the ram that signifies or points to the eventual atonement in Yahushua's bloodline, okay? So that is the ram that this goat that's a typification of the Azazel goat, the destroyer goat, of the Greek culture, like America. We're in America. It's nothing but Greek linear thinking culture. It's paganism to the core. You don't know the battle I've personally gone through to think like a Brian, a Hebrew. I'm trying to think like Yahuwah's mind. When we're raised up to rule, it's a 4, 5, 6,000 year old culture. There's all this modern garbage is gone. Don't believe he's going to, because the Malachim, the spirit realm, is going to allow us to have cell phone and internet powers. You follow me? These won't be here. But it still be, with other Ruach beings, will be a type of omniscient, omnipresent. Thus, we'll have the nature of Yahuwah and his co-heirs with that Yahuwah's nature. So we're omnipresent, omniscient. We're everywhere, every time, and yet we're still on the throne in the temple. But the humans aren't. There's humans. But that's not the point. Okay, that's what I mean. Yahushua's ram of atonement, remember Bereshit 22. The only way Yahuwah was going to kill his firstborn son if Abraham committed to kill his. And right before, he just wanted to see his commitment. Then he stopped everything. He won't sin. He wouldn't allow him to kill him. But he had to test him as a type of Yahuwah's Abraham, and Yahushua is laughter, or Yitzhak. See? So that is this ram of atonement that's caught in the thicket. Yahushua's replacement salary. Now, when you go with this Greek linear mindset of Alexander or the goat, a type of the Satan's Azazel goat, it kills off the power of Yahushua because they cast him off and reject him. That's why the ram gets killed by the goat, destroys it. Okay, now I'm going to keep this real simple. I'm going to try to get this done real quick. Okay, that's basically, study it out. I'm not going to, this is just a teaching. All right, pick up at verse 24 and we'll roll into it. Daniel 8:24. Now the power shall be mighty, but he will not be by his own power, but he will destroy wonderfully. Hear this. He shall prosper, because all these kings of the earth, the king of the north, the king of the south, of course the Middle Eastern nations, connected with the two legs of Europe and Mesopotamia. Constantinople. In other words, the beast is going to be Muslim and Catholic United States. It's a combined beast. Because they're both going to be ruthless killers in the end, physically. But that's not our point today. Okay. His power shall be mighty, and they will destroy wonderfully. And this is the Spirit was in the context of the moon Sabbathers. And he shall prosper and practice witchcraft of this deception. He will destroy the mighty and the Kadosh people. But through his policy he will cause craft to prosper in his hand. He will magnify himself in his heart. And by doing so, by peace he will destroy many. By peace, he's not attacking them in a military state. He's doing it by subtle deception, stealing them away out of the Sabbath. And the Father, by his own nature, has to kill them off out of the vine. The Sabbath is a death sentence if you break it. So, by peace, he will destroy many. He will also stand up against the prince of princes, the ram. He goes back and repictures the ram and the goat. Because this is our lineage. The Medo-Persian Empire is where Mesopotamia, where Abraham came from. You see? That's that area. It's pulling it in. You have to see the types, the anti-types. There's bad types and good types peeking into the same thing. Just like Alexander, Isaiah 45, help me out here. Cyrus or Koresh. He was a type of the Messiah's deliverance, but he was an enemy. He destroyed Babylon. He is an antitype of the Messiah. But he still had the same picture. I'm sorry, I'm trying to finish this up. Daniel 8:25. He will destroy many. He will also stand up against the prince of princes, the ram. He will destroy Yahushua's work off these poor moon Sabbathers, and it will be broken without hand. Now the vision of the evening and the morning was told as true. And thou shalt see the vision, it will should be for many days later. Now we're going to get to, like you want to read 1 Timothy, you'll understand dark sentences. I tried to explain the moon Sabbath people. Their doctrines are so perverse, they have a spirit in them that allows them to understand dark sentences. They're totally convinced on something that's so far off canter, it's ridiculous, but they live and die by it. Because they can only pshat the word. And the word's valuable, but if you only pshat the word, you're going to miss what's being pointed at. You see, Yahushua is the soul, spirit, joint, and marrow. It's the entire body. That's the witness of Yahushua. The only reading of pshat, that's a Jew. Jews can quote scriptures back and forth in the pshat, and it's worthless. You follow me? In other words, look at their fruits. Like Yahushua said, your father's the devil. Because they don't get it. They just don't get it. Okay. Verse 9 again. Back up to chapter 8, verse 9 now. Now one of them came forth with a little horn. This little horn we waxed exceeding great towards the south, towards the east, and towards the pleasant land. Okay. Now it waxed great, even to the host of the heaven. Pay attention. These are spirits now. He cast down some of the host and of the stars to the ground, and he stamped upon them. So once you lose the covenant, 10,000 angels assigned you. It's a parable. They're not physically hurt, but the angels assigned to protect these people are stamped down to the ground. They're cast down and stamped upon the ground. Okay. Yes. Yet he magnifies himself to the prince of the host. Again, the goat and the ram. And by him the daily slaughtering gets taken away. Either by people who keep a Sunday Sabbath, whatever way. If you're not keeping the day after Friday's Sabbath, I don't like to say that S word is involved with it. If you don't keep the day after Friday Sabbath, you're not keeping the Sabbath. from sunset to sunset. So, by the daily slaughtering gets taken away of a continual Sabbath, and the place of a sanctuary gets cut down. 2 Thessalonians 2. A new king comes to sit upon the throne of their temple. We are the temple of Ruach HaKodesh. And the place of the sanctuary of our body's temple is thrown down. And a realm of demonic spirits were given to him because of legal authority against the daily slaughtering to keep them programmed where they'll never see it anymore. They make such a, oh, that's a Gregorian calendar. See, they spit on it now. It's dung to them. A host has been assigned to them to make sure the daily slaughter never comes back into their minds. By the reason of lawlessness, the legal ground, the host of angels were cast to the ground. They don't protect them anymore. It was cast down, truth to the ground, and it practiced and prospered. Falsehood, truth is cast down. So I heard the one speaking to me. I'm going to try to get this done. And another one said to the certain slain man, he said, how long shall this vision concerning the daily slaughtering be? This is what I told earlier in the series. How long will this daily slaughtering thing take place? And then the transgression of desolation, when Yahuwah finally packs up and moves out and allows Satan to come in as Yahweh. I'll just use that pronunciation for the Yahweh versus Yahuwah. So Yahweh then comes in and moves in. Whereas the transgression of desolation will give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden underfoot. The angels, 10,000 assigned to us, and all their hosts to be trodden underfoot. There's no power to empower them. And it's to be 2,300 days. In other words, 3.5 years. The parable of the fig tree. Well, it's 3 years, the fig tree's not growing any. Let's cut the thing down. Why is it wasting the vineyard soil? No, let's dung it one more year. See, it could be once it starts at the beginning of the halfway through the second year when it should be growing. It's not then they cut it down, you see. It's the halfway through the next year. The fig tree of the leaves that cover your nakedness. You are your own God, and your tree of the knowledge of good and evil is covering your nakedness. See, if you don't see this imagery, if you don't see the pictures and the parables, you can't see the Mashiach. This is how he came to this earth and taught everything. Pre-incarnate and post-incarnate. Yahushua taught on both sides of his life. Maybe I can hit one more. We have to get through this. I don't want to go on to another one. I'm stretching these things out. Okay, Daniel 11:31, please. The arm shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the set-apart place of strength. In other words, they'll come in, read the Psalms by Asaph. He teaches this stuff. The temple's destroyed. It's all chopped up and hacked up and just beaten. Asaph's Psalms teach this. For the arm shall stand on his part, and they will pollute the set-apart place of strength. They will take away the daily slaughtering, and they will make the place an abomination that makes desolate. Matthew 24. Now there's an end time fulfillment where we each go through it. Remember what Yahushua said? Remember what he said? This generation will not pass away until all these things take place. Every generation goes through an abomination of desolation time. Some succeed, some fail. It's every generation. The Hebraic mindset is cycling. It's not point A to point B. I don't get saved and at the end I'm saved. No, we go through cycles of 7. 7 months are the holy seasons. That's why I don't do any of these Jewish feasts beyond the 7th month. Ain't going to happen. 7th month completes a cycle. Sorry. Okay, 12:1. At that time Michael will stand, that great prince that stands for the children of the people. There will be a time of trouble such as never been. Even that time, even to the, well, I think that's out of context. 9 through 11. Let's see, I marked down 9. Oh yeah. Go thy way, Daniel. Yeah, 12 verse 9. I'm sorry. Let's finish up with this. Go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed until this end time. Pay attention. And many will be purified, pay attention, and made white and tried, but the wicked will still do wickedly, and none of the wicked will understand this. See, once you fall away from the Sabbath, Their minds are all polluted. They can quote you scripture. They can lay out 40 scriptures. It's so perfectly eloquent and perfect, but it's so far off the truth, it's polluted. Because they threw off the foundation. Okay? So the wicked will never understand, but the wise will understand. Now pay attention.